Hi everyone, welcome back to Catherine's Plates. Today it's all about dinner. I am going to make a classic Italian dish. Now this is a lasagna flavored stuffed shells. So we're going to take jumbo shells and stuff them with all the flavors that we love in lasagna. Okay, it's a really simple and easy dish to put together. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, in a large pot of boiling water, I'm just going to season with some salt generously. This will help flavor the pasta. I'm using jumbo shells. This is 12 ounces, about 36 large shells in here that look like that here. So I'm going to cook all of them up in this dish. Now we're going to cook these for the directions on the back of the package, and it's going to be about 13-14 minutes. So we're just going to keep an eye on these. We want these al dente so that way they can finish cooking in the oven, and plus if you don't cook them all the way, they're really easy to stuff. Okay, so then we're going to drain these. I'm going to rinse them off under cool water so that we can easily manage these as we're stuffing them. What I'd like to do to make this really simple is while my pasta is cooking, I like to go ahead and start my meat mixture. Now in my lasagna, I do like onions, bell pepper, and garlic as my vegetables. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started putting our meat mixture together. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off about 3 sides of my pepper here. I'm going to cut it into thin strips. I want really fine dices for this because we want to fit this into the shells with everything else. So we don't want everything too clunky. Now green peppers take a little longer to cook than onions, so I'm going to go ahead and get these started in a large skillet. All I'm going to do is add about a tablespoon of oil, 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm just going to heat that over medium-high heat so I can cook these, and then while these are cooking down, then I'll cook the onion. Now if you don't like green pepper, you don't have to put that in at all. Or if you want to use different colored peppers, you can do that also. I've just got a yellow onion here. I'm just going to cut half of this and just give it a nice mince. Now if you don't want to put onion in, you don't have to. You can use like minced onion that's in a jar, or you can use onion powder. And then grab you a few hands to help you in the kitchen. Like your camera person.
Just helping out.
And you all know, or maybe you don't know, that my camera person is my husband, who sometimes joins in if he can. Alright, I'm going to go ahead now and add my minced onion. Okay, you know this is all flavor. All flavor. What I'm going to do now is, since these are vegetables, I'm going to give them a little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to season as we go. Make sure everything is delicious. Alright, I'm going to start adding about 1 to 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Okay, I'm just going to use my meat chopper here and just break up the ground beef. And what I want to do is get this nice and browned up until it's no longer pink. Okay, while my ground beef is finishing browning up, I've just got some cloves of garlic here that I'm just going to mince. So I'm just going to take the clove, I just put it on the cutting board, put the flat edge of my knife on it, and then just shoot it up like that. And that gets the whole skin off of it. Like that, right there.
There's some giant cloves.
This was a big bulb of garlic. Alright, I'm just going to give it kind of chop here so I can fit it into my mincer. Oh, when you're doing Italian food, get your garlic mincer out. Get your garlic press. Alright, I'm going to go ahead now and put this into my ground beef. Woo! Now, if you don't want to mince your own garlic, you can get the jarred garlic, or you can put in garlic powder. All right, I'm going to cook this down for 1 more minute, and then we're going to turn the burner off. Okay, while the meat mixture is just cooling down, I've just got a medium-sized bowl here. I'm going to add 16 ounces of some mozzarella cheese. Some cottage cheese here. I'm going to add 16 ounces. Now, if you don't like cottage cheese, you can use ricotta cheese. And I know half the people like ricotta and the other half like cottage cheese. I grew up with cottage cheese. I love the flavor. It's a little saltier and I like the curds of it. There we go. I'm going to add half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Add about 1 teaspoon or so of Italian seasoning. I'm going to add some pepper. Now I'm not going to add any salt because there's plenty of salt in the cheeses that are in here. Okay, I've got 1 egg that I'm just going to crack into here. I'm going to mix this all together. Now that egg is going to hold as a binder. And once we get this all mixed together, I'm going to put this into the meat mixture. And then we're going to mix that all together. It's just easier to incorporate all of this separate from the meat, and allows the meat to cool down just a little bit while we mix this up. Now when I make lasagna, I generally don't put an egg in there, but when I make the shells here, I do, because it's a binder to hold everything into the shells. Oh, this smells good right here. All right, we're going to mix this until everything is nice and incorporated. Okay, I've got a 9x13 baking dish here, and I'm just going to rub some butter. This will help make sure the shells don't stick to the dish here. And if you just want to spray it with some cooking spray, you can do that too. But you know, this is going to give it some flavor. Now I have a 24-ounce size of some pasta sauce that we like. So any flavor that you like. I'm just going to open the jar here. Yes, it did. This handy little tool, one press of the button, opened up our jar here. Now, I bought this because my mom, you know, she has arthritis and has really big problems opening jars, and every time we try to get her something to use, it's still hard. But this right here, wow, she loves this. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take the sauce here. I'm just going to put about 1/4 cup of this sauce into the bottom of our dish here. This is going to flavor the bottom side of our pasta also. I'm probably going to overspill a little bit. There we go. Yep. I'm just going to take a brush, swirl it around. Now at this point, your pasta should have already been cooked, drained, and run under some cold water. If they're sticking right now because they've sat for a while, you can just run it under a little bit more water and then just pat them dry. Here's my shells right here. Got my dish, and I've got my meat cheese mixture. Okay, so I'm taking a shell and I'm just going to prop it open, and we're going to stuff these. I mean, we are going to literally like put 2 tablespoons. We have enough mixture to do that. Make people happy at the dinner table. All right, and then I'm just going to place them in my dish here, and that's what we're going to do. So about 2 tablespoons. And then you can just hold it in the palm of your hand. Make sure it's kind of firm in there. Like like that. Okay, I'm gonna take the rest of the pasta sauce. What I did was I just filled it up with some water and gave it a good shake in there. So just replace that quarter cup that we used on the bottom of the dish here with some water. Kind of make it a little bit more saucy there. Be able to get it all out of the jar. I'm gonna pour all over these shells. All right, then I'm just going to pull it down to the sides so everything is fully covered. That way those shells won't dry out on you. Okay, we're gonna bring out the mozzarella cheese that's shredded, and we're going to cover all of the sauce here. I'm gonna sprinkle on some Italian seasoning. Okay, I've got some foil here. Now what I'm gonna do is, if you're not using non-stick foil, I would spray some non-stick cooking spray on the back end of your foil here. That way when you place it on top of your cheese there, it doesn't pull the cheese off when we pull the foil off later. It'll minimize that. So I'm just going to seal up my dish here. We're going to place this in the oven that's been preheating at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. We're just going to take off the tin foil, and then we're going to put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes, and that cheese gets nice and golden brown and bubbly. Look at that bite there. Okay. I love Italian food. It's so delicious. All the flavors of lasagna stuffed into those large shells, all those delicious flavors. This recipe made about, 21 shells? That's what we made, overstuffed shells. That's what we made. All right. Okay, are you gonna go get your large jumbo shells to make this one? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below what you think of my recipe today. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. Everyone, make sure you're sharing this. Make sure you're following me on Facebook and my recipe blog, www.catherinesplates.com. Okay guys, I will see you on the next episode.